You upstate New York?
I'm upstate New York. Yep. I'm in Albany.
Albany, New York. Jeremy, you in Seattle, huh?
I am. That's right. And where are you?
I'm in LA, man.
Oh, of course.
I'm in LA. I'm in Pacific Palisades. A little cloudy this morning, man, but all good.
Yeah, I'll bet you'll take that over the smoke any day.
Absolutely. That's part of my story. Upstate New York is a big part of my story.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, man.
Well, cool, man. We're just going to chat for, 20 minutes or so about all the things you're up to. And, no real rules here. We have a list of questions that hopefully we can ignore because we try and just have a real natural conversation and actually listen to the things you say and respond to them appropriately and so on. Any questions? Any questions or anything, Chris?
You guys rock and roll. Whatever you like to do, have some fun.
Right on. Well, I'm going to start recording here. And, I know you've told the story a million times, but for those that for some reason haven't heard it by now, let's talk a little bit about your origin story and what got you into fitness. I know your dad played a big role in that.
Yeah, well, listen, I was an overweight kid. I had a bad stutter growing up. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, raised in Baldwin, Strong Island. Zach, I know you're upstate. I'll get to that in a couple of minutes, man. But with this terrible stutter, it was always tough. In school was very tough for me because, look, I knew how to read. The worst thing in the world was as a kid, I'm sure you fellas remember when the teacher would say in class, okay, everyone, we're going to take a paragraph. We're going to stand up and read out loud. Remember that, man? That to me,
I'm still terrified by that.
Hey, listen, I've got four grown kids. I know you have you guys have young daughters, man. You guys are playing junior varsity ball. I've got a daughter 28 and three boys after that, 26, 21, and 19. But
wow.
When I used to go to open school nights as a dad, I would sweat remembering the moment, man, when Miss Worth used to say to me, okay, let's stand up and read out loud. Miss Worth, how about that for a callback?
Yeah, right.
My stutter comes back when I say Miss Worth, man. I could read the words, except when I stood up to read out loud, you get nervous, your friends start to giggle a little bit. And as you come to learn, you want to speak from your diaphragm, man, right in here. When you start speaking from your throat, things get tight and restricted and the words jam up like two trains crashing against and the buh-buh-buh and the ta-ta-ta. And look, we see it now with the guy who's running for president, this guy, Joe Biden, who grew up with a terrible stutter as well. And people, it's interesting, fellas, we'll talk, about the story, but this is very important too. Stuttering is really the only affliction today in this politically correct world that we live in, that you can still make fun of it. And people laugh at it. And I'm here to attest that, a stutterer knows a stutterer. I can tell when someone's starting to go up and, and your eyes flutter a little bit and you get jammed up here and we all come up with devices on how to get through those stuttering words, whether it's a sound or whatchamacallit, to get to the next, a little bridge. Mm-hmm. When you don't stutter, as much as we all could say, God forbid you're blind, and you could say, no, I understand what it's like. No, we don't, because we could see.
Right.
Imagine an overweight kid not being able to get on a phone. This is obviously way before cell phones and Grubhub and things like that.
Right.
Order a pizza, and I couldn't do it, man, because, you get all uptight. And but life is about moments, like we're living in right now. There are challenging times. We all go through a lot of challenges, right? I mean, I read about your bio, which is really great, Jeremy, that you talk about the challenges that you go through, have gone through, and Zach, the same thing. I think we all have, as my grandmother would say, Michigas. You guys will look that one up, but we all have our own stuff, and life is about moments, some great, some not so great. And this was a moment where my dad bought me a set of weights when I was 13 years old. And those weights changed my life because not only did they build my body, but they built my confidence and self-esteem. And you fellas know, and I'm sure you teach your daughters this, when you have confidence and self-esteem, man, you can achieve anything you want in your life. And I was at this moment where the Waits and I got together. We connected. I had this dream. I want to go to California to become Mr. America, right? And I went to college upstate New York. Zach, you know Cornell, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, sure. I went to Cortland down the street.
Nice.
Okay, which is still pretty cool, D3 school. And as you know, and I'm sure I could attest, I do all these podcasts and television interviews, and I explain upstate New York. And to people who don't get it, it snows a lot during the year, man. So it's not too conducive to walk around in your gold lame posing trunks in 18 inches of snow. So I'm up there. I'm upstate New York for about 3 months. The first one in my family, want to set the stage, to ever go to college. My parents never went. Their families never went. This was a big moment for us, right? And every day I'm just thinking about LA. I'm just thinking about, school was never my thing. I was never great at it. I mean, when I got a 75 on a test in school, my mom would take me to Carvel to get a brown bonnet because it was a big moment in my life,
Nice.
Bang. Oh, that chocolate was the best. I'll talk about chocolate a little bit later in the show,
Sure,
but
sure.
The whole idea was that focus of going to LA. And my mom used to call every day to check in on me. How's poli sci, how's English? And we know now, guys, and I'll talk to you all about being a dad as well. I said life's about moments. We all have dreams, everybody, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, we all have dreams. And sometimes it's the people closest to us that seem to be the most negative. And what I mean by that is not so much could be in a negative way, but because maybe your mom and dad don't want to see you get hurt. So they don't want to see you put yourself out on a limb, right? Friends are a different story. I told my friends my dream and they would say, Jake, you're a fat guy. You're not going to go to California. If you do, what a big mistake. You don't drop out of college. So this moment, my mom calls and I finally said, guys, Ma, I'm going to go to California to become a bodybuilder. Silence on the phone. And all of a sudden I hear, Herbie, my dad's name. Pick up the phone and talk to your kid. I'm putting my head in the oven. And it was, we'll say this, and Zach, you can attest, the longest bus ride from upstate New York, right, to Baldwin, Strong Island. It was like going to Australia by foot. And I got home, and as I explained to you, my parents were not excited, but they understood. Get it out of your system, come back. Bedroom will still be together, go back to college. My friends were laughing, and I made the trek. And listen, I entered the Mr. Southern California contest. I got there summer 1977. So Zach, Jeremy, I was in college for 3 months and retired and went to California, pursued bodybuilding. I read all the magazines. Everybody said eat 18 eggs and 24 chickens a day, and you too could become Mr. America. Well, I clucked a lot, fellas, but what they neglected to say in the magazine that was like the Bible, right? They never talked about steroids. Now, granted, it was 1977. As I said, when I got there, the dinosaurs still roamed the earth. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, Serge Nubret, all the big bodybuilders came to life for me, and nobody mentioned steroids. And once again, life is about moments, right? And decision-making. And I entered the Mr. Southern California contest. I come in second place in 1978. The guy that beat me was on steroids. And I had to make a decision. And as I taught my kids, and I'm sure you teach your girls about decisions. If you have to think about something too long and too hard, probably something you shouldn't be doing. And I made the decision not to take steroids. The reason? Because I was afraid. I was truly afraid to put a needle in my own battissimo. And it was the best thing I never did. It was hurtful and all that stuff. And I felt like, I'm not going to go back to New York a loser in my own mind, right? We all do this to ourselves. So I'm going to stay in LA. I don't know what I'm going to do. I love what working out did for me. I love how I felt. Zach, your story is insane. I can't believe you actually weighed 300 pounds. I'd love to see pictures. But the idea, we all have our stories. And for me, I love what working out did for me, man. I stood up straight. I felt I had confidence. And right place, right time. I'm in Studio City, California, doing what every good musclehead does. I'm working out in the morning, catching rays during the day, and bouncing in a bar at night. And an actress comes over to me, who I've seen at the apartment complex a bunch, and she says, you know, I see you here all the time. I like you, but I don't want to look like you. I have this Club Med commercial that I have to do. I've got about 6 weeks to get in shape. Now, this is 1979, 1980, guys. So Jane Fonda had just come on the scene, the high impact aerobic classes. And, you know, we start talking, and she says, could you come up with a workout routine and to help me out? Because I have to wear a bikini. Can you come to my boyfriend's house and do it there? And I thought, sure, no problem. She goes, well, how much is it going to cost? I go, I don't know. Give me gas money for my 1977 white Camaro.
Nice.
With Jake 77 on the license plate. Always kept a very low profile. Very important. Entrepreneurs out there, low profiles, very important, you know. And so what I did is I got to know her a little bit, an actress. I love the gym, but I never hung out in the gym. I got my workout in and I got out. Not one of those gym rats. Don't disrespect anybody, but I was never a guy like that to hang around for 2.5 hours just to be there.
Right.
And I felt that this girl had an A-type personality. I came up with a 30-minute workout, right? Using a broomstick, a chair, 2 cans of Mama's tomato paste, and a towel for resistance training, right? Oh, hey, resistance training, all the rage today.
Right.
This was 1979. And I thought in my mind, well, if I gave her two dumbbells in her hand, she wouldn't do it because I don't want to get big muscles, right? But if I pulled down on the towel and had her pull up on the towel, the resistance was more than 10 pounds or 20 pounds, but it's a bath towel. So no problem. Put it together, went to her boyfriend's house, knocked on the door in Beverly Hills. If you weren't on the cover of Musclehead Digest, I didn't know who you were. Guy answers the door. Turns out to be Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, man.
And I just thought, I said, hey, well, this guy could use a workout too, maybe, you know? And she really enjoyed the workout. They started going to parties. People started saying, you look great. What are you doing? Now, remember, this is 1980, guys. So there's no cell phones. There's no Google. This guy, Jake, comes to my house. He's got this broomstick, towel, and a chair, 30-minute workout. Pretty funny. He's kind of funny. And he eats too much. They had a great refrigerator. I had no money. The refrigerator was good, man. A lot of protein there for free.
There you go.
And the craziest thing is, in Hollywood or anywhere, when you're good and people want to get a hold of you and they seem to want you, right? And they seem to want you more all of a sudden because they can't get a hold of you. And in this mystique of, who is this guy? You got to get him. Now, I'm getting calls on my little answer machine in Studio City from people like Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford and Priscilla Presley and Bette Midler and Warren Beatty and Barbra Streisand and Madonna before she was Madonna. And I got to hang and travel with these people. I trained Harrison for Temple of Doom and all. I learned this amazing lesson, boys. They're no different than us. The only difference is they had a dream and never quit on their dream and never took no for an answer. And, you know, that gave me all the incentive in the world to say to myself, wait a second, I might never direct ET 2, but I'm going to have my own success in life. And I was able to parlay that famous by association into books and videos and television shows. Ted Turner, the great Ted Turner, gave me my start doing the fitness break on cable news network in 1981. And I came up with these 60-second vignettes. Now today, 60 seconds is considered long form programming.
Exactly.
Right.
And parlayed that into a television shows. And I had a dream to create a television network, which I did in 1993, called Fit TV, which was the first linear fitness television network that I sold to Rupert Murdoch in 98, and then launched Exercise TV, the first on-demand fitness television network, and had a dream again, continued a dream. I ended up founding Major League Lacrosse, Zach, which Yeah, I did in 1999. It just finished its 20th season now. Um, Everything that I do, fellas, revolves around three things: hope and health and family. And those three things are the building blocks of everything that I'm was involved in, gotten involved in, and continue to be involved in. And as I said, as a dad, a husband, I have a great wife. We're almost married 32 years, Tracy and I. Four kids. My daughter Morgan is 28. My son Nick is 26 in New York City. My daughter's in Scotland. I have a 21-year-old son at University of Michigan, Zach. And Luke is right down the 10 freeway at USC. He's a music producer.
Nice.
And that's the greatest thing of all. And I try to teach them, as I've always done, talking about brand. You know, that you are, each of us, people listening right now, you're a brand. And you have to think about that every single day. How you want to be treated, how you want to be seen, and think of yourself as a product, as a brand, because before you can sell anything, people buy you first. And once you understand that about integrity and honesty, because you can't buy trust and you can't buy authentic. And that's what I built my life on. And this has been 42 years, man, hitting the body by Jake. And it's just been outstanding.
Well, and sort of on that note, you know, I hear your answer. I see your enthusiasm, your energy is incredible. I mean, you could run laps around me, and you've got a couple decades on me. So your story is more than a story. It is an inspiration. You are a walking example of living a healthy and fit lifestyle and the benefits that can provide. I mean, so what would you say to someone who's like me, mid 40s, still kind of trying to figure it out, trying to just get motivated to lift the weights, to pick it? I mean, that's, to me, that is the hardest part of any workout. Once I'm in it, I can go until I drop. But
What's
just
great, Jeremy, listen,
choose on and start is the hardest part.
What's awesome that you just said it, which I love the honesty. And that's, look, the bottom line is this, man: exercise is boring.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
And because if it wasn't boring and it didn't hurt, everybody would be in great shape. Yeah. Right? We go like this, wiggle your nose like Bewitched back in the day, and you all be in great shape.
Right.
It's a matter of, and this is really important. Every body is very different. And you have to find something that fits into your lifestyle, than your lifestyle having to fit into someone else's program. Mm-hmm. That's why people go up and down and quit. I hope you guys brush your teeth every morning, right? And before you go to bed, and you floss. Well, you have to make fitness, as you know, Zach, I'm sure we can go and turn the table. I'd love to hear one day your story. I mean, that is, I mean, both of you fellas, which is obviously hence why you have a show like this. Mm-hmm. It's really awesome. And to hear people who overcome adversity and are willing to talk about it. Look, I had a stutter. I was an overweight guy, right? Getting up in front of a room was devastating to me. I never saw a therapist. My parents, thank goodness, were great, because when, as a young kid, the principal sat them down and said, "We need to put your son in that room 222, which is, for the challenged kids, right?" And they said, "No, he needs to be in the main." And I'm so thankful for that kind of stuff, right? I will only say this to you: when you have dreams, and think about this too, and you have so many great people who listen every day, and think if this is you have this great idea, you have this great opportunity, you write it down before you go to bed, right? You wake up in the morning because you're pumped up before you go to bed. You write it down. I'm a crazy note taker, man. I write notes left and right, man. I got things like ideas all over the place. That's what you do. That's what's exciting. But you wake up in the morning, and before you have your coffee, before you walk out the door, you've thought of the 1,900 reasons why you can't succeed. So before you had the chance to even pitch whatever it is you were pitching, you stop you. And I like telling my story because, listen, man, I could never talk above people because I could never do it. Ain't that smart? And I would never talk below anybody because that's not what I do. You talk to people. And I think you guys understand, as being in your world now, you can tell when you're watching TV or a movie or looking at something on Instagram or Twitter, you can look at someone's eyes and see if they're shooting straight. Bottom line. And for me, that's always been about the integrity, what I try to teach my own kids and try when I talk about the opportunity. Success is failure turned inside out. Look, I always say too, the guy with the C average hires the guy with the A average, because when you're so smart, you get paralyzed because you will find 11,000 reasons why a business or an idea won't work. And you're probably right. You just need chuckleheads like me to say, what's the worst that happens? We take a shot. We tell a great story if it doesn't work. And look, I've been very blessed. I've had a lot of successes and a lot of grand failures. And some of the best stories are about when things don't work out, because you learn, man. And that's what it's really all about. So from going from Fit TV to Exercise TV, I've got involved in the infomercial business. I did 17 years on Home Shopping Network, which was really a joy to be able to look into the camera and sell a product live. I mean, that's it. That's the greatest feeling in the world. And all these different shots. I did my own TV show, my own sitcom called Big Brother Jake, and did about 30 movies. Produced my first film that just was supposed to come out March 20th, guys. It's called The Grizzlies. It's now on iTunes. And I bought the life rights to a story 17 years ago watching ESPN. It's just about taking shots, guys. When someone tells you no, to me, that's halfway to yes. And but a big part too is giving back. And for me, in my mind, I always saw myself as this little chubby kid with a stutter. And because my dad got me those set of weights, I always said to myself, if one day I can do something to give back, to help, I want to put fitness studios, I want to put gyms in schools around the country. And I've been doing that. I was chair of the Fitness Council with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was a great honor too, when he was governor here in California, and then a year with Jerry Brown here. And then I've been chair of the National Foundation for Governors Fitness Councils. This is my 8th year. And what I simply do is we choose 4 states every year. I call governors cold. I've got $300,000 of brand new fitness centers. So 3 $100,000 Don't Quit fitness centers to gift to an elementary or middle school. And we work with the administrations. We've done 36 states. I just wrapped. Normally I'd be on the road right now visiting schools, but because of the pandemic and where we are, we'll talk about that in a second too. We did a virtual ribbon cutting tour. So this year I was in Kentucky, Alabama, Indiana, and Oklahoma. The fitness centers are all in. We just completed our virtual ribbon cutting tour television show, a special, and the governors, Kay Ivey in Alabama, Eric Holcomb in Indiana, Andy Beshear in Kentucky, and Kevin Stitt in Oklahoma were incredible. And the kids and it's so I get high off of this because I travel to places that nobody really goes to. And you really see, because you read the news, you hear the news, how bad things are, how much people hate each other. And I'm here to attest, look, we have challenges, but we live in the greatest country in the world. And when I go visit these places, guys, you meet the most amazing people who do so much with so little and who care so much. Administrators, educators, moms and dads, grandmas, grandpas, aunts and uncles, and the kids. And if we can touch, give the opportunity for one kid to get in that fitness center and do 1 repetition leads to 2, you guys know, leads to 3, Zach, right? All of a sudden, You're standing up a little bit straighter, you're looking in that mirror, and you start feeling confident about yourself. Who knows? That kid, that girl, that boy could be the next leader of this great country of ours. And that's what gives me real joy. And, the fitness, motivation, inspiration all leads to, as you know, and I'm sure you can tell me stories about nutrition, about what I eat like I'm going to the electric chair. That's how, that's how I eat, guys. and I've always had a sweet tooth. I train so I can eat, right? That's why now it's about maintenance, got to keep the boyish figure.
Yeah, yeah.
But nutrition has always been important. But once again, like I said earlier about being authentic, when I did all the infomercials, you guys know continuity. So at the end of the commercial, they always say, ask about Jake's, this and that. I got approached by every vitamin company in the world saying, hey, we'll put Body by Jake vitamins. And I go, I don't take vitamins. I don't take supplements. I could never do it. And I didn't do it. And what I did do, though, I love protein shakes. And I would create these shakes. And as my kids all grew up, I came up with something I called the magic drink in the morning. Not really that magic, but you guys know. And I made it the magic drink. And now at 62 years old, right, a couple of years back, I invest in a lot of different things, beverage. I was a partner in some Broadway shows. The great Jimmy Buffett had a show called Escape to Margaritaville. I'm an investor in this new play, which I just now heard is pushed off, but will be on Netflix, which is called Diana, about Princess Diana.
Oh, wow.
So I like to spread my wings into all these great different areas, and nutrition has always been important. And I end up at a happenstance meeting with a terrific guy named Danny Stepper here in LA, has a company called LA Libations. Now, think of Silicon Valley, right, which is the tech hub, and the incubators up there that incubate tech companies. This young guy has a beverage incubator and incubates beverages like Zico coconut water, all these Honest Tea, all these incredible brands that came out of his house. I met with him about 2 other projects. We sat down and he didn't want any of them. Now, I told him that I own the trademark to the words, don't quit. Now you see it on my shirt, everything about my life is about don't quit. Yeah. Quick story about that. I was cut from my 8th grade basketball team. I went out for the 8th grade basketball team. I was feeling good about myself. First thing I did, I lost some weight. I was feeling good. I'm a great basketball player, boys, because, my mom said, honey, you're a great basketball player. And I believed her. And I went out for the team and I got cut, which was, as we all know, right? It's tough. And I was pretty down, and a friend gave me a poem called Don't Quit. Now, at 14, not much of a student, sure as heck wasn't a poet, gives me this poem, and I could have easily have tossed it. I brought it home and I read it. And I will tell you this, guys, the poem, this is it. This is exactly the one. Look, wow. Look at the back of it, man. This is, I've had this since I'm 14 years old. Don't quit is not even, you can't even see it anymore.
Right.
But this poem has traveled with me everywhere since I was 14, guys. And it became a Bible verse to me. And the last 2 lines are, stick to the fight when your hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit. And I recited that in good times and in bad times. And I trademarked the words don't quit in 1981.
Wow.
And nice. I kept them sacred. I fought off all the big brands. I didn't have any. Now, my books were entitled Body by Jake, Don't Quit. So it was a subtitle I ended all my shows with, but there was never anything that I felt strong enough to put on as the headline, Don't Quit.
Right.
I thought I would pass it on to my children, and here's what happens. 2 years ago, because life is about moments and you have to take shots, I'm sitting with this guy. He doesn't go for anything I'm talking about. I mentioned to him that I own the trademark to the words, don't quit. He stopped. He goes, dude, because we're in LA, dude, do you know the brands Ensure and Boost? They're it's adult nutrition. I've seen the commercials. He goes, have you ever seen the ingredient panel on those 2 products? They're chemicals. They're terrible. And they taste crummy too, because I had no idea. I went to my mom's house, he said, and it was in the back of her fridge. And I go, Ma, you didn't even tell me you drink this. He goes, I don't want people to know, because there's a connotation of people, God forbid you're sick, that you drink that. And people do, right? So he said, we've been working on some formulations. We think that we should do this together, right? Adult nutrition. Think about this. There are 110 million Americans over the age of 50 today that need hope and health and a smile, right? So we got working about a year and a half into it. We surrounded ourselves, which is what I've always done. As an entrepreneur, it's important. Surround yourself with great people, because if you think you're the smartest guy in the room, you end up becoming a legend in your own shower.
Mm-hmm.
Just telling you, right?
So true.
So and I said to them, look, here's my criteria. This is not, guys, I don't endorse stuff, Jeremy. I'm not a spokesperson or endorser, Zach. It's got to be my company, because that's the way I do it. And I said, if my mug is going to be on this, it has to be a clean label. So no soy, no corn, no wheat, right? No artificial flavors or sweetness, gluten-free, kosher. And by the way, it has to taste delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So we said that was the challenge. We met the challenge and we succeeded. We've been doing testing for about a year and a half. We crush Boosted and Sure. Our label, first of all, our original, I'm just going to show you guys. We have chocolate vanilla, orangesicle, old school creamsicle, my favorite, good humor.
Love it.
Man, right? And chai tea. My wife loves chai tea. It's awesome. It's great. It smells unbelievable. Recipes, 26 vitamins and minerals, 10 grams of protein. Now, in the adult nutrition section, the sugar, right? There's a lot of sugar in these drinks.
True.
Ours is less, but also ours is pure cane sugar. As you guys know, not beet sugar or processed sugar, pure cane sugar. So how about this? Opening the fridge up in the morning, guys, and look
at that
right there and seeing the words, don't quit, right? You chill them up, you shake them up, and they're delicious. This is our orangesicle. Here's a chocolate one for you, right? Delicious. This is like, I'm telling you, like melted brownies in your mouth, and they're great for you. First clean label. We crush Boosted and Sure. But if you're looking for more protein, we have a 30 gram of protein, 1 gram of sugar, which is our Don't Quit Max.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And that comes in chocolate and vanilla. This is crushing it. If you go to don'tquit.com, I know we're sending you guys some stuff because I really want you to check it out.
Oh, nice.
But you go to don'tquit.com. It's available on Amazon, or supermarkets everywhere are picking it up. We'll be in Walmart starting November 1st.
Wow.
The great thing is we're getting recipes from people who are making Don't Quit vanilla pancakes using Don't Quit original vanilla.
Wow.
You take your max version of chocolate, you take some almond butter, a banana, put it in the blender with some ice. Forget about it, fellas.
Man,
I'm
nice.
telling you. And that's what it is. It's a total rounded proposition, right? About a don't quit lifestyle, especially right now where people are challenged. The great thing is, look, supplements are expensive, man. Vitamins are expensive. Eating really well is expensive. And I wanted to do something where, as I've always tried to do, make fitness and health convenient, right? This is convenient, right?
Totally.
Shake it up, and you hit it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's meant to be a meal supplement or a meal replacement, depending on who you are. A lot of people over the age of 50 need to keep weight on, right? So you want to have those 26 vitamins and minerals with that pure cane sugar. You need your carbohydrates, right? If you're looking for more protein, a lot of younger people are looking for more protein, 1 gram of sugar, you do the max.
Yeah.
And it's great for you. It's convenient. The bottom line, though, it tastes delicious. Something good is actually tasting delicious.
And I love that you are taking on the I mean, when you look at the ingredients on those other things, and you don't even know what half the thing, 3/4 of the things, they're awful. So I applaud this effort to help
Jeremy,
people.
you should do something. I'll give you guys a great idea. You should have people come on the show to read ingredient panels,
right?
of stuff you think is supposed to be good for you. What you should be reading is no soy, right? No corn, no wheat, right? That's black and white, or brown for nice chocolatey. But you want to be able to. Let's see if you can read the first 4 ingredients on Boosted and Sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's my challenge.
Good luck.
Right?
Zach, go ahead.
This is great. Your enthusiasm is absolutely wonderful and so inspiring. But I want to ask you about, you mentioned hope. And that is, one of your principles. We are in 2020. There's a big lack of hope in the world right now. People are thrown out of their routines. Things aren't normal. A lot of anxiety. Um, I want to hear how you tell people have hope. I know it's 2020, but how can people get through this year? How can people get through this pandemic, this new normal that we all have to live through? I just want to hear what your take is on that.
Yeah. First of all, it's real. It's definitely real. We're going through this. This has been an amazing moment. As I tell my kids, you will tell story. Your kids will study this in school,
Mhm.
and it's how we get out of this. Look, this country has gone through lots of challenging times. We now are living in it. How are we gonna? What's the story that we're gonna write? I mean, some of the I look at something that's chaotic, and I look at opportunity. I look at challenging times and say, okay, you can't roll up in a ball, because if you do that, you have no shot at all. When it comes to fitness, right? Zach, Jeremy, both of you guys and the people listen to you, gyms are closed. I know we've heard from gym owners, yoga studio owners have called and reached out to me and trying to say, Jake, we're keeping our place so clean. You can eat off the floors here. People are concerned, whether it's through the government or through whatever have you. These places are closed. So what do?
Right.
Just as long as you're getting your body moving, show that, if you get your body moving, even if you just stand up a little bit, we're all doing Zoom calls, Zoom meetings, people are zoomed out. Get up every few minutes and just get your body moving. You get those endorphins going, you get the blood flowing. And once you start thinking like that, keep a routine. Very important, get into a routine. Get up in the morning and try to do a little bit of exercise. A lot of people are not morning people, but I'm pushing a lot of people to become that, because when you get into that routine and then get dressed, because we're not going to work because you're not going out, everybody's got the elastic pants on. Well, of course you don't feel like you're gaining weight. You got the elastic Levi's on, man, and say, I feel great,
Yeah.
but the thing is that have a laugh. Look, the sun will come up tomorrow. It always does. And we want to be on the right side of positivity. We are on the right side of hope, because if you're hopeful, you're already ahead of the game. And I know you're struggling. A lot of people are struggling, whether it's with rent, they're not working. The way that you control those things is things that you can control yourself. You can't control if you're going to get the job. I get that. What you can control is you getting up and just moving your body and saying, you know what? I didn't do that yesterday. I just did 10 repetitions. Tomorrow, I'm going to do 15 reps. And the next day, I'm going to do 30. And then wait a second, I just did that. That means if I've got that under my belt, I'm going to try something else. And you start building off of that. The other thing, Zach, write things down. I'm a big believer in writing things down. You have a dream, you have an idea, especially right now. You're challenged, Jeremy, right? You're feeling, a little wiggly about things. Write it down. You write it down, you can see it. You can see it, it's real, and you can cross it off the list when you're done with it.
Yeah.
And that's a great feeling too, because things become overwhelming with so much going on. And especially you guys have little kids, right? I talk to a lot of people who are homeschooling their kids now, who they split the house up and the computer is on and off. And listen, that has got to be a challenge and a half. My oldest son was just home. He was in New York City. We hadn't seen him since Christmas. I kept him here for 2 months because I miss my kids, man. I love my kids more than anything in the world, but I understand, and we do, about, how crazy it gets having a house full of kids trying to do schoolwork, you trying to work. That's why getting up first thing, getting a little exercise in, nutrition. That's the bottom line. But listen, I still take 1 day a week, 1 day a week, and that's my day. Saturdays, I get up in the morning, no matter what, the alarm goes off, I'm eating M&Ms, man. You know, I'm a chocolate guy. I love M&Ms.
I was going to ask you, what would be the one thing that you enjoy that somebody would go, what? He eats that?
Oh man, I'm a big ice cream guy, which is why when you taste our orange-sicle, it's creamsicle. When you taste vanilla, it's French vanilla. When you taste chocolate, it is my chocolate ice cream, man, that I love. And those are the tastes that, you know, it just gives you that, it gives you the sweet feeling. So it cuts that idea of midday, going to go whack down 22, you know, candy bars, or going to go eat a Volkswagen, you know?
Right.
The idea is everything in moderation, Zach and Jeremy, everything in moderation. And you will get through this. We will get through this. If you don't mind, guys, I'm just gonna read the poem because, I'm just gonna recite this poem. Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes like this: when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learn. And many a failure turned about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. You never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit. Recite that poem, think of those words, and I promise everybody, it will get you through everything. Find a little sentence or two. Success is failure turned inside out. The silver tint of the clouds of doubt. You never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. You never want to wake up one day at 50 or 60 or 70 or 80, looking in the mirror and saying, you know, at 30, I had this idea. At 35, I had this opportunity. And that's the stuff that makes people crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you try something and it doesn't work out, because after that door closes, bam, something else is going to open up for you. It will. Believe it, because it will.
That's a beautiful place to end it, man. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time and your story, and with this product. You're doing some good work. We appreciate it. There it is.
Don't quit. Go to don'tquit.com, boys. Check it out.
Yeah,
Jake,
I can't wait to try it.
Thank you so much for your time, Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
Cool. And we'll end it there. Thank you again so much. I really appreciate the opportunity. All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.